Today is March 10th, 2020. It's nasty weather out, but I figured I'd make a quick video tour of my car. It is a 1982 Checker Marathon. It's the last year of this model and the last year that Checker made cars in general. This was a project over fall. We had to put an engine in it because it didn't have one when I bought it. It did have the transmission and it did have most of the suspension parts. It is powered by a 5.7 liter V8. It has a TH400 Hydramatic transmission. And the rear axle is a Dana 44 that's also used in Jeeps. The fun thing about Checkers is that they're a mishmash of different brands. So the door locks are Datsun. The front turn signals apparently are from a 58 to 59 Chevrolet pickup truck. And I can go on and on. The original steering wheel in this car was from a Chevrolet Citation. Excuse me. When I got the car, it was in quite poor condition. It still isn't perfect. It's definitely a running project. It originally had a landau top, so a cloth on the roof, and it didn't have the third windows. We decided to put those in just for, a little bit more light on the inside, because the interior is dark brown. I'll show you in a minute. The car had quite a substantial amount of rust, and a lot of it's been worked away, but is still there. We also cut quite a bit out. Checkers were quite prone to corrode fairly quickly. These cars were advertised as being incredibly durable. Definitely high miler cars. Of course, most famously known as the classic New York Checker cab that was in service until 1999. Unfortunately, the body paneling that these cars were built with are pretty much a tin can. Their most common rust areas were the upper fenders, because the fenders are open. There is no inner lining, so all the way up to the headlights and the tail lights, dirt could get in, and that usually was an issue when it came to the areas rusting out along the trim. And oddly, the roof was also very rust prone on these cars, and that was also an issue with this one, especially because it had the cloth top and water accumulated underneath it over the years. However, the outcome of this turned out to be very good. Like I said, we had to put the engine in it. We did quite a bit of body work to it, lots of painting. It was built on a very tight budget, but with what we had, we really came out very well, I would think. So you can show you the engine bay. The original hood latch was broken, so we used one of those. And actually quite a few of the original cabs had those as well. Here is the engine bay. Now originally we had a different engine for it that we got, but that had a crack in the water jacket, which we didn't figure out until the engine was assembled and in the car. So we had to start all over. And this one is quite bad looking, but it runs very well. There's a slight lifter tick to it, but fires on all 8 perfectly fine. I put a brand new fuel filter in it today. The tank in this car is from a 1953 Pontiac Pathfinder. It was the only one we had at hand. It's small and not in great shape, so there's a little bit of dirt in there that keeps clogging up the fuel filter, but I have a few spares now, so if it needs it, I can exchange it. The original master cylinder that we got with the car was leaking, so I put a new one in. And that turned out to be bad out of the box, so I had to have it replaced again. So that one is working as it should now. The radiator is Champion, custom made. There's the Checker emblem. A quick look inside. Here's the interior. The steering wheel is from a Chevrolet Biscayne. The original steering wheel was from a Citation. The floor mats are Thunderbirds, but they fit perfectly, so I decided to put those in the front and in the rear. The car was originally fitted with an underdash air conditioning unit, but we removed it. We still have it. My friend who also has a Checker, I bought this car of him, is likely going to put it in his. It's a GM Delco cassette radio that we put in. When I got the car, it had a probably a 90s radio in there with a removable face. Of course, the face was missing, so I got rid of it and we put that in. Here are the dials. Classic Checker. This is a Canadian car, so it has kilometers instead of miles. The original steering wheel, the horn was broken on it, so we put a horn button in there, and then we found the steering wheel, and I haven't exchanged it back. It used to have a check engine light in here, but we disconnected the computer, so that had no purpose. You'll like the roof lining. The original one had a rat nest in it, so we had to take it out. That way we were also able to rust convert and paint the inside of the roof. This is a 70s bedsheet I found at Value Village for a couple of dollars. And the seats are pretty close to immaculate. Springs are a little tired, and there is one tear down here, but the rest of it is all perfect. And here's one of the main reasons everyone likes Checkers, and that is the luxurious space that you have in the back. Again, I have Thunderbird mats here. The rear seat. The front and rear window leak a little bit, and the parcel shelf was falling apart, so I took it out. I still have to put a replacement in. I haven't done so yet. Now, this car used to run on propane before I got it, and this is where the filler neck went. I still have to find a patch for that. But the original and now current refueling opening is over here. And here's the shots of the back. And just for kicks, I'll start it up and you can hear it run. Change. Okay.